All right, baseball fans, it's time for your dose of MLB news and rumors. It's Talkin' Twins. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Talkin' Twins. I'm your host, Liam, and we are pleased to be joined by Brent Headrick, left-handed pitcher and prospect with the Minnesota Twins. He was drafted by the Twins in 2019, finished this past year at AA Wichita, and he was added to the Twins 40-man roster this past offseason. Brent, thanks for taking a little time with us.
Thanks for having me, Liam. Excited to talk a little bit.
How's your offseason going so far?
It's good. Usually I'm in Illinois in the offseason, but this offseason I moved down to Florida, so it's been definitely a different time, I'll tell you that. More warm weather than I've ever had in my entire life.
Yeah, different winter, right?
Oh yeah, Christmas didn't even feel real. I was out here and it was 75 and sunny, and I've never had that. It's usually, full out snow and 5-degree weather, so it was something.
Well, that'll be nice for you. You've put in a lot of work this past year. It's definitely paying off. You've had a strong season. You made a lot of strides. You were named an organizational all-star by minorleaguebaseball.com. It's got to feel good. And on top of all of that, the Twins added you to their 40-man roster this past offseason, so that's a big deal. How validating is it to receive that kind of recognition from the Twins?
It's really great. We put in a lot of work. We came a long way since last season. Back in 21 when I was with the low A muscles, went into that off season and really had to change a lot of things as far as the way I lifted weights, the way I threw, mechanically a lot of things. Had to shorten up the arm path, all of that, which in turn put it all together, and it created a really good, byproduct and a lot of good movement patterns. And the biggest thing was I was able to stay more healthy. I was able to pitch and recover a lot faster, and just overall my body was just a lot better shape. And going 25 starts this year and finishing strong, finishing healthy, that was one of my main goals, and that was something I was really happy with. And
now that the Twins added you to their 40-man, that's got to be the biggest compliment for you right now in your journey.
Yeah, for sure. I'm stoked to get to work, especially to get to work in spring training at the big league club and see what it's all about and push myself that little extra bit. And who knows what can happen, so I'm just gonna keep working hard and hopefully make it there.
And let's talk about that for a moment. How have the Twins helped guide your path as a starting pitcher so far?
We put in a lot of work. We have a lot of great pitching coaches, a lot of great players. We bounce off players, and, bounce off ideas, but the Twins are really good at putting a program together for you, and it's your job to do the work, put it to use and make changes. But they have all the resources you could ever need. They're always there for questions, in season, off season. They're more than willing to help out. And I've had a lot of success working with everybody, and everyone has, different inputs and different things, and they see it from different ways. So it's really good to gauge everyone's opinions and, just take everything in and use what, you think could help you become the best pitcher.
For sure. And off seasons like right now are often when ball players have the time to recuperate and make some gains, as you alluded to. What were some of your specific goals at the start of the off season? This
off season, my goal was to gain strength in order to withstand the longer seasons that are coming ahead. And, the more expectations, I want to, increase my velo on average and things like that. And I know in order to do so, I need to be stronger so that my body can withstand all that I'm, throwing at it. So since the week we got home, I took a couple days off, but that was enough for me. I couldn't sit there any longer. So I had to get back in there, and I started throwing after a couple days, just lightly, for a couple weeks. I'm not big into taking a bunch of time off throwing because you got to relearn it. So I just kind of like to keep it going through the off season, just, start off slow, kind of mild. But yeah, then we went straight into the weights, and yeah, we're just getting into a speed phase here now as the season starts. So put it all together, moving more weight faster and things like that. So
yeah, and since you brought it up, just to put it in context for people who maybe aren't familiar with your journey so far. In 2021, your fastball averaged 89 miles per hour, skip forward a year, jumped to 96 at times, averaged 93.6. Have you gained any new velocity this offseason?
I'm not sure. We're once we start getting more into the season, swinging things, we're still ramping it up here now in the preseason program type stuff. And, we're into bullpens quite a ways and stuff like that. But it's always different when there's a hitter in that box when you're in a game with a big crowd. So we'll see once we come out. But yeah, body's feeling great. Arm feels great. Added about 5 or 6 pounds this off season, but nice. Overall just gained a lot of, changes in my body, bigger changes, things like that, and was able to get stronger. So, we're just going to go with whatever and, see what we can do.
What part of your game do you feel has progressed the most this off season?
I would say strength this off season, my number one. I was always a fastball pitcher. So fastball was always my best pitch. And towards the end of last season, when I got to AA, we found this slider grip that really, really worked for me. After one game, we just kind of knew that was, hey, we can make this thing, we can take off with it. So we started throwing that thing about 80, 81, and a couple weeks in, we were throwing at 83, 84, 85 even. And so that was one of my biggest things, is to have two weapons that I could use. As you go up, the competition only gets better. So we figured with the fastball that carries and then the slider, we could, mix in the splitter as well, but that slider has been my main goal. So we've been working on throwing it harder with some more movement and things like that, and getting stronger and being able to move faster and things like that. It's all helped everything come together, I'd say.
Yeah, your command has been recognized as one of your main strengths. And in 2022, I'm not sure if you know this, you were one of only 6 pitching prospects in all of baseball to have a strikeout percentage over 30% while having, at the same time, a walk rate that was 6 or under. How would you characterize yourself as a pitcher?
I just like to go after guys, pitch to my strengths. There's some hitters in the lineup where the scouting report and you go over pregame and stuff like that. But for the most part, I just, I pitch to my strengths, because, you got to go out there and thinking you're the best on the field that day, and you just got to go at guys, and that's the easiest way. You don't want to fall behind 2-0 and then have to give them what they want. So the easiest way to get out of that is, get to 0-2, get to 1-2 as quick as possible and just try to put them away.
Now let's jump back a few years ago, because you're very close to the majors now, closer than you've ever been, obviously. You put in a lot of work along the way since high school to develop yourself as a ball player. That's a lot of time, sacrifice, and commitment that most people never see, and they don't know exactly how much you put in. But after all of that hard work that you did, describe what the moment was like when you found out that you'd been drafted by the Twins.
It was surreal, because, that whole year you got that anticipation of, man, I think I might get drafted, things like that. And, as you go through the season, you kind of throw it on the back burner, because if it's going to happen, you're going to sit there and thinking about it. It's only going to make your job more stressful and things like that. So you got to enjoy what you're doing. Try to put it in the back of my mind. And yeah, once the season was over, it started to kind of sink in a little bit. Teams are coming. I've had meetings with teams all fall, throughout the season in the spring. Getting closer to draft day, things, they started coming up more often, more teams reaching out and stuff like that. But to finally actually get the call and, hear him say, hey, we're going to take you with this next pick, that's when it was like, it took me, I didn't even know it was real at that point. You know what I mean? You talked about it, you heard about it, you're expecting it at this point, but then when they do it, it's like, man, this is crazy. You just put it all into perspective a little bit.
What was that moment like? Were you surrounded by friends and family, or like, what is the situation?
Yeah, we just had some, close friends and family come over, and, we didn't know exactly where we were going to get drafted. We just thought, it's a great opportunity. Let's get everybody together and, see what we can do. So it was just a good time. Big thanks to my, all my family who's helped me along the way. And it was really just kudos to them, all through my life, taking me here, taking me there. And yeah, just all the coaches I've worked with. It was a good moment for sure.
You made some comments earlier about how the Twins have helped you. It's definitely got to be important as a player to feel like you're in the right organization. So what's a strength of the Twins system that you think doesn't get talked about enough?
I just think the fact that they have plans, for each guy individually. There's no cookie cutter method. It's every guy is different, and they know that, and they take that into account when they are helping guys and when they're in the off season. I have a coach reach out to me every week during the off season, asking for video, asking for this. I mean, if you need anything, like I said, they're truly there at all times. Training staff reaches out, make sure you're feeling okay if you need anything. So yeah, I've been lucky enough to play for this organization since I got drafted in 2019, and things are always they're always looking for ways to improve. And we're always trying new things every year, and they just keep finding ways to get guys better. And the strengths of our staff in the minor leagues is honestly one of the best. From what I've seen and what I can hear from other orgs and stuff like that, we have a really, really good pitching staff.
So nowadays, thanks to social media, information is more accessible than it's ever been before. You can find out something about almost any opponent fairly easily. You've grown up and developed as a ball player alongside the development of social media itself. If anyone is familiar with the changes to that, it's young players like yourself. How much of an impact do you feel that social media has had on modern baseball?
I think it's really important with high schools and college kids. Because back when I was in high school, I came from a small town. It was hard to get recruited outside of where you're from. All the local state schools and things like that, maybe the next state over at most, because social media wasn't really a thing. So it was just scouts had to see you at tournaments and things like that. Where now guys can get picked up from anywhere and, be seen anywhere. That's the best part about it is talent is getting recognized from all over the world. You know what I mean? It's not about where you're coming from or it's just about how good you can be at how good you can make yourself, really. And anyone can get out there. And I think it is also good for guys like our age and stuff like that. You have more access to games, to, interview some people. You can just read all different things about baseball, all these studies guys put out, all these, all kinds of different articles. So there's always ways to learn, and just the game of baseball is just growing all around. And I think it's great.
Now let's talk about the role of that bulking up and adding muscle plays with improving your overall game. Since you said that was one of your off-season goals. A few decades ago, that wasn't the case with most pitchers. How dramatically has it changed your game?
Oh, it's one of the main factors that increase, velocity and just overall the way you feel pre and post game and things like that. For me, I was always told in high school, you don't want to lift too much and get too big, and then, you can't be effective, things like that. Well, as you get older, you realize you're going to build strength. And for me, it's building strength with mobility still. So you don't want to be super stiff, but if you train the right way, you can become more mobile and be stronger in better positions at the same time, which is what I've learned over the past few years. And we have a great strength and conditioning staff who have put together a program just, for each guy, and especially me. I work directly, really close with them, and we go through things of what we like, what we don't like, what we think works, what doesn't work. We've come up with a customized version of things that just lifts that put me in great spots to succeed. I'm able to get stronger, like I said, while gaining mobility. Just overall, you can move faster with more power, and that's what creates the velocity and different things like that. When they say mass equals gas, I think they mean it.
How challenging is it to maintain that strength during the season, though?
For me, I think as long as you get after it, treat every day like it's a work day, then it's not going to be an issue. For me, it's just the day. I usually lift the day after I start and the day of my bullpens. For me, I just go in there, and whatever I need that day, I have the lift, and whatever volume I think I need. If it's a day where I'm maybe a little bit more sore, I take it lighter, but I get more movement quality out of it. Whereas if a day I'm like, man, I feel really good, you can bump the weight up a little bit and things like that. So for me, as long as you're just going in there and putting in the work, you can definitely maintain, and most guys even get a little bit stronger as the season goes on. Not even just by lifting a ton of weight, you're just throwing more often, you're doing more, you're training the body more and more every day. I mean, I think most guys throw 6 to 7 days a week just playing catch. So over the course of 6 or 7 months, that's going to be a huge difference, and that's what takes you into that off season and lets you, just cruise through that and get to the next step.
Take me back to the Texas League playoffs last year in Double-A. You finished the 2022 season on fire. During the playoffs, you had a 0 ERA with 19 strikeouts in 12 innings, no walks, good enough for a 14.3 K per 9. In the championship finals, when your team needed you the most, you rose to the moment and delivered a big game performance that clearly impressed the Twins. This is right before they added you to their 40-man. It's do or die, season on the line. You go out there and dominate for 7 innings, 11 strikeouts, no walks, and only 3 hits. You've got to feel proud about that kind of performance.
Yeah, that was something special. That was definitely one of those moments where you just look back and you think, man, it was just a lot of fun. I mean, I can't say enough. But the best part is that, we had such a great team and we had such a great environment that guys just wanted to be there. Guys wanted to win. And, we're all trying to get better in the minor league. But at that last week when we were in the playoffs, we're like, let's just win the whole thing. You know what I mean? We're all pumped up. All the staff, all the pitching staff, we had each other's backs. We're, just getting on guys, just trying to make everything fun towards the end, trying to have a great time. But also we're all just competing against each other at the same time. So we made a lot of fun out of it. And yeah, you just trust your guys behind you, and you trust our offense. They were killing it too. So made my life a lot easier. And, I just got to go out there and just try to let it rip, really.
Yeah, you definitely did. It was very impressive. It seemed like you really embraced performing under the spotlight, under the pressure, and being a leader in that kind of moment. How different is your mindset for playoff games versus regular season?
I think it's all the same for me. I don't look a week back or a week ahead. I stay right in the moment. That's my biggest thing, is especially for everyone, all the young guys out there listening. It's big. You got to stay in that moment, because it's easy to look ahead in 6 months and what could be at the end of the season, but you just got to take every start for what it is, and treat it like it's the only game that matters, because it is at that point. And, I just go out there and compete every single day. And each week you're progressing on something and trying to make it better. You might fail one time, but exactly what you need to do the next time, type of thing. So I would say by the time playoffs came around, the atmosphere felt a little bit different. I mean, you had a lot more fans, things like that, and you could feel the tension. Mm-hmm. But it was like that competitive fire that all adrenaline just takes over, and it just becomes it's an incredible experience. It really is.
It's got to feel awesome playing around all those talented guys on your team. Let's talk about how deep the Twins minor league system is right now. I feel like this system doesn't get enough credit. We're seeing a logjam of talent right now on the big league team. You're starting to see it at AAA. Might start happening at AA now as well. Do you feel that the Twins system is currently being slept on?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we have guys that are down here now. I've been here training the past 3 or 4 months because I moved down here, but spring training doesn't start for what, another month, and we have 40 guys already down here, working on getting better. So guys are always looking for ways to improve. And like I said, the way the development side is on the minor leagues over here with hitting, pitching, all of it, it's really incredible. And, guys buy in, and that's the biggest thing, is just buying in and, going full force at it and seeing what you can get out of it. It breeds healthy competition for everybody, of course. And yeah, everyone's really close, and we create a good environment, and everybody wants to be here. So it makes everything a lot better. And, I think our minor leagues, all the minor league teams started to show it this year, how much talent we really do have throughout the organization.
And we've heard how talented the organization is right now, especially with the top end prospects, but you've had a front row seat to seeing some of the Twins' most highly touted prospects, like right up close. And you mentioned it feels great having those guys behind you. Some of those, Austin Martin, Edouard Julien, and Brooks Lee, who I think came up at AA at the end of the season there. Yep. What stands out the most to you about those 3 guys that Twins fans can look forward to?
I'd say it's just the way they carry themselves. They go out about their business and they do the work, and it shows on the field. And on top of that, they're even better people. All of our teammates are great. All the ones that I've had so far, everybody's out to just make everybody better. You know what I mean? There's not much of a lackadaisical type of environment. It's always competitive, but we keep it fun, we keep it light. But once we hit the field, it's like, let's go play baseball. You know what I mean? And we're able to build, that bond throughout the season as time goes, bus trips, things like that. Yeah, the way once it's time, guys are willing to put in the work and go that extra little step to, get to that next level and keep making those jumps and strides.
Yeah, and there's a buzz and an electricity around the Twins right now. So hearing that same buzz is happening down in the minor leagues as well, and the bonding and the team chemistry can only lend itself to great things once you guys start getting to the majors. So that's great to hear about. If you were commissioner for a day, just on a fun side here, what would you change about baseball?
I don't know, but I will say that pitch clock they implemented, I love it. I always like to work fast, and I don't like the game, hitters taking too long to get in the box or things like that. For me, it's get the ball and go, and I've always been that way. And I feel like the game had kind of slowed down a little bit because guys were able to take, a bunch of time and things like that. But I'm a big fan of the pitch clock, and I think at first when it hits the big leagues this year, it's going to be tough for guys to really understand. There's going to be a lot of balls called on pitchers, I guess, and strikes called on hitters because they're not going to be ready in time. But I think in the long run, it'll make the game a lot better. I mean, especially for fans, the games go from, 3.5 hours-ish to about under 3. It definitely made the season, each game would go by fast, but it just I was a big fan of speeding it up.
And in terms of making the game more exciting, the Marlins' Jazz Chisholm was just announced as the poster boy for MLB The Show 23. The new generation of players these days have brought a lot of flavor and fireworks to their celebrations. That doesn't always fly with everybody. So I want to hear from you as a pitcher. How do you feel about players showing emotion in the game, flipping bats, Euro-stepping their way to the home plate after a home run, things like that? How do you feel about it?
I don't mind it. It's part of the game. Keeps everybody in it. You just got to be able to be on both sides of it. I think that's the only way it works. If you're able to give it, you got to be able to take it a little bit if someone strikes you out or things like that. But no, it's all part of the game, and everyone has their own personality, and that's great. And I think that's good. Let it show. You know what I mean?
So spring training's right around the corner. What are you looking forward to this spring?
Just looking forward, to getting better. That's what it is. Right now, it's the minor leagues just getting better and better, and hopefully get to the big stage before long, and just be able to make an impact. That's everyone's goal, is to be an impact big leaguer, and I think we're all working towards that. And for me, it's just keep going to work every day and keep appreciating the opportunity that I have, and make the most of it.
And the Twins just had a rebrand this past offseason. New jerseys, hats, logos. I'm sure you've seen them all. Do you have a favorite? Which of the new looks stands out to you the most?
I think they're all pretty nice. I like the cream jerseys, aren't bad. And so are the navy blues. I like both those a little bit.
Well, Brent, it's been a pleasure to check in with you. All the best with the upcoming season. Twins fans will definitely be looking forward to seeing you debut, especially in those new threads. So thanks so much for joining us on Talkin' Twins.
Thanks, Liam. I appreciate it. Go Twins.
If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and hit the subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all of our other videos. And check out this other video that's on the screen right after this. Thanks for watching, and until next time, go Twins!